Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jessica Duffy here with Jessica Duffy Beauty. So today I had a really cool thought that since I had slowly been acquiring luxury and drugstore products, that today I'm going to do my best to do one half of my face with kind of drugstore and then the other half with all luxury. Now, if you guys are interested, go ahead and keep on watching. So I want to put out the disclaimer that although these may not be the very best dupes out there in the world, they are the best dupes that I could come up with in my makeup collection. I don't have the largest makeup collection, but I do have quite a bit of products. So I'll do my very best to kind of go in with what I know, with what I think would really be a good dupe for luxury and affordable. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. The first set of products that I'm going to go in with, I'm actually fairly excited for because this is such a, sorry, my setup here is a little crowded. Anyway, I have the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas, as well as the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I'm pretty sure that in my last few videos I kept talking about how much I really wanted to get this, but it was sold out everywhere. It was sold out on Ulta, the website. I finally went over into the Walmart over by my house, and lo and behold, they had it in stock. So I'm going to do drugstore on the right half of my face and luxury on the left half of my face. So by the way, I don't have enough makeup brushes to 100% kind of replace a brush every time I use a new product for drugstore and luxury, but just know that I have two separate sponges, drugstore, Real Techniques, Beauty Blender, luxury or higher end. So, but I'm gonna do my best to kind of, you get what I mean. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go in with the Tatcha Silk Canvas. By the way, if you guys notice, the quality of my setup has changed. I now have a tablet thanks to my amazing, just wonderful people, amazing clients. I cannot say their names because of HIPAA, but you know who you are. Thank you so much. They gifted me this tablet. I kind of was advertising myself a little bit. I said, hey, you know, go check out my channel on YouTube. I just love makeup that much, and I'd really appreciate, you know, your support. So they immediately pulled it up. They didn't wait for me to leave. They pulled it up right then and there. And yeah, so they were kind of not making fun of me, but they were like laughing because of my setup and how I would smile and then push the pause because I don't have a camera or I literally film every previous video on my cell phone, no laptop, no editing software, nothing. So yeah, I was struggling a little bit. Anyway, really fast, I'm going to say that if you've never tried the Tatcha Silk Canvas, please go over to Sephora and at least feel the texture. It does not have that silicone-like pore filling primer texture that most people suspect that it does. It smells like every other Tatcha product. It's very smoothing. It almost feels slightly hydrating, but it definitely offered me some pore filling. So now we are going to move on to the Poreless Putty Primer. I have watched some reviews on this product and I have tested this out on my hand, but I have not put this on my face yet. I just wanted to feel the consistency, and honestly, it literally feels identical to the Tatcha, however, almost slightly thinner. Not nearly as hydrating, I guess I would say, but as far as the balmy consistency, it feels just like it. I do have the packaging right here so I can read to you what its claims are. It says this perfecting putty primer smooths the skin and preps it with squalene to help moisturize and grip makeup for all day wear. The velvety texture glides over the skin, smoothing over imperfections for a poreless effect. Yeah. When I applied it to my hand as soon as I got it, I did notice a slight pore fill, but nothing too major. I don't know. The thing is, with this kind of product, with dupes like this, yes, they're amazing and they may perform slightly like the product it's trying to dupe. However, you're never going to get the full experience with the luxury packaging, the scent, just the all around, you know, what it is that you pay for when you're getting a luxury or higher end product. It does feel slightly hydrating, and what I'm noticing off the bat is that the side with the e.l.f. is slightly more shiny than the other. Hang on, you guys. Every single time I start filming or doing anything serious, my nose starts running. But yeah, my skin does appear slightly more shiny, and it's more tacky on the e.l.f. side. So yeah. All right, so I mean, I would say so far, just off first appearance, my pores are slightly less blurred with the e.l.f. side, though they both feel hydrating. The Tatcha side has appeared to kind of really mesh and sink into the skin quicker, and it just becomes one with your skin rather than the e.l.f. side, which is still okay. It's sunk in a little bit. It's just taken a little bit longer, and it's still just, it looks a little bit more dewy. So anyway, next on my luxury side, I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Pearl. Before, I was getting the shade Almond, which is in the it is the same shade but different undertone. This is a cool undertone. The previous one was a neutral, so it looked super yellow on me, unfortunately. And now, because it was super yellow, it just looked too dark on my skin tone. So now that I have the shade that matches me, it looks so much better and it doesn't look too dark. But I literally love this foundation, one of my all-time favorites. It is a natural finish. In my last few videos, I have attempted to find a dupe for this. So far, out of everything that I have tried, the one that I will use on the other side of my face is the closest that I have seen, but it is a lot more of a dewy finish rather than natural. Natural is just much more like comfortable skin-like. It's not overly dewy and shiny, and it's not matte at all. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to drag this down just a little bit more onto my neck. I always suggest dragging it down just to really kind of allow your face, neck, and body to mesh as one. This is a brand new beauty sponge, and it's crazy how when you first get them, it's still extremely soft, probably one of the softest beauty sponges I've ever used, but they still feel a lot more firm than they do after you have used and washed a few times. And I will say that I absolutely recommend washing after each use of your sponge, because once you use this and all of that cream and liquid and powder kind of sit there and harbor bacteria inside of that sponge. You just really want to be careful, because you can spread acne and bacteria or cause acne, spread bacteria by not properly cleansing your tools. I just use regular like soft soap or baby soap. That is what I prefer. Alright, you guys, so you can see that has allowed, you know, for a very natural finish. So next, on my drugstore side, I am going to go in with the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 105 Fair Ivory. And if I haven't already mentioned it, which I don't think I have, I did take notes. I am a note taker. So on the drugstore side, and I'll probably use this as my thumbnail, the total came out to be from start to finish, came out to be $88. On the luxury side, came out to be $472. So just be aware of that, and we are using, you know, quite a few products. This is a full face of products, but, you know, that is a massive difference. Alright. The whole purpose in wanting to do a video like this is I don't know if any of my followers have ever followed Tati Westbrook or any of the larger influencers who are just amazing. I mean, role models for me, really, when it comes to makeup and beauty and all of that. Loving yourself, being comfortable in your own skin. Tati Westbrook does something, or she used to do something called dupe tutorials, where she would do what I'm doing, half of her face in drugstore, half of her, or in more affordable, and the other half in higher end luxury prices. And she did that in order to show people that, you know, there are dupes out there, or duplicates, people call them dupes, that just shows that you don't have to go out and spend a pretty penny in order to have a beautiful look. What do you guys think of my little Princess Leia buns today, by the way? I was inspired by a hairstyle that I saw Loreal wear a long time ago in one of her videos, and I'm just trying to change up my hair. I need to get it cut really bad because the ends are just so bad. The last time I got it professionally cut was last summer. My hair used to be down to like the small of my back. It was extremely long. I'd been growing it out for years and years and years, but then I had my son, and he used to just grab right onto it and literally clench and not let go. So yeah. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can tell. From what I can see, this side is slightly more yellow, but it may have oxidized just slightly. So yeah, I mean, so far we have very similar finish, very similar color. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Luxury side, we're going to go in with the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair Neutral. You know, this is my all-time favorite concealer because it's full coverage, does not crease, and it's not drying. It's just the perfect formula to me. Alright. I'm going to attempt to do this the best way that I can. Alright, go ahead and blend this out. So yeah, my clients who I had today, I have them every Wednesday and Friday afternoon. They're the sweetest people. Well, it's one client that I have, but it's her and her husband that I'm referring to. Very sweet people. And so they gifted me this tablet. It's just a basic kind of Amazon tablet, but the fact that it is larger, that it has more space, and that I could actually download a free video editing app, I'm hoping that it will work and allow me to actually edit my videos from here on out so they won't be hours long. So thank you. Anyway, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Age Rewind in the shade Ivory on the Drugstore side. This is an amazing dupe. It's an amazing drugstore concealer regardless. Sorry, I'm trying to find the camera lens. Like, I'm not used. This is a different setup from how my phone was, so I apologize if it looks like I'm trying to figure out where to look. I'm also going to use both concealers to prime my lids because I only have, because the drugstore and luxury-ish primers, eyelid primers that I had are not dupes for each other. They're different types of formulas. One is opaque, one is more kind of translucent. So I'm just going to use the concealers to prime my lids today. And I'm going with the Age Rewind, the drugstore side, down the center of the nose. Alright. The only difference that I've ever noticed between the Tarte Shape Tape and the Age Rewind tends to crease a little bit quicker, and it's a lot thinner of a consistency. It is also, I'm saying the only thing, but it's really, there are a lot of differences. Age Rewind is a thinner consistency. a little less full coverage, and it does crease a little bit more. So when you're paying the higher price tag, you're getting, you know, you get what you pay for sometimes. So does not mean that you cannot work with the product and find good affordable products. So that is the whole point in this video. Oh, I'm using the wrong sponge, guys. Sorry. Ugh, I knew I was gonna mess that up. It's okay. And there I go again. Alright, I'm just blending out creases before I go in with powder. Okay, powder on the luxury side. I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier. This is an amazing translucent setting powder. However, if you are somebody with drier skin or drier under eyes in general, you can still use this, but there are tips and techniques that you may want to try in order to counteract the dryness that this can cause, okay? Again, we are going to, and I'll show you what I mean by tips and tricks. Just always, always, always re-blend out your creases, and then I'm going to go in with the damp beauty blender and just lightly press that under the eye. I'm also going to re-blend with the butt of my beauty blender. Try to avoid blending out with the side that you dipped into the powder, because then it'll just set it and set creases, if you know what I mean. So anytime I'm about to go into set something, I turn over the sponge, blend it, and then turn it back over and use the side that already had powder on it to set a clean blank canvas. And then I'm going to go in with my Scott Barnes 6'7" into the lid here and just kind of dust this all over the face, or press all over the face. Or not all over the left side. My goodness, sorry guys, I have worked all day today. I'm a little sleepy, but I was super excited to film this for you guys. I had been collecting these products for quite a while to finally do. I'm not going to call it a dupe tutorial because that would be copyright, but something, you know, a drugstore affordable versus luxury, if you will. Been very much looking forward to this. Alright, so on the drugstore powder side, we're going to go in with the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade Fair. I have heard several people mention how this is an amazing dupe for the Laura Mercier. I'm going to go in with my Real Technique sponge and blend out any creases under the eye, and go in with the pointed side and press that in. So far, I'm noticing that these are extremely similar formulas. The powders are. They seem to look, I turn the sponge around to blend out creasing on the eye, and now I'm going to powder that as well. But the powders do look very, very similar. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that and pick that up, though I'm having a little bit of trouble on the drugstore side. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. It's just looking much more patchy under my eye. Can you see? Under my drugstore side eye, it's looking much more patchy, and it looked like it was lifting the product a little bit. I have never used this combination of drugstore products together before, but I'm assuming that so far I've used all Maybelline except for the primer on the drugstore side, so you would think that they would work well together considering they're all from the same brand. I'm taking the rest of the Maybelline Fit Me powder onto the rest of the right side of my face to set, and down the neck because I drug my foundation down. Alright, let's keep it moving, keep it moving. So next, I am going to go in with, let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and bronze. I'm gonna go in on the luxury side with the Marc Jacobs bronzer in the shade 104 Tantastic. And I'm gonna take my JH02 fluffy bronzer brush. I went ahead and washed all of my brushes last night. You can spot treat your brushes, just like eyeshadow brushes or whatever, if you don't want a transfer of color from previous uses. You can do that like any single time that you use your brushes, but if you'd like to deep cleanse your brushes, you can do that about once a week or so. I'm not in any way being precise with this bronzer. I'm just applying it kind of all over. I'm really excited for the dupe that I have for this because I don't think I've ever seen anybody call these two products dupes, and I think they look exactly the same on the skin. I think they smell very similar, which is crazy. So, and I've talked about it recently in my hauls. If you guys know what I'm talking about, be excited. But you see, it's not too neutral. It gives a very kind of sun-kissed look, and I actually really love this product, but it is, you know, $49. That is a little bit pricey. I'm also gonna take this. Okay. We're gonna move on to drugstore side. I believe that this is 100% an amazing dupe, the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. It literally smells the exact same, and honestly, I think it looks the exact same on the skin. So in order to prevent, you know, transfer, I did only use translucent powder on this brush, so I'm gonna go back in with my Scott Barnes 6-7 into this and use this on the right side of my face. Smells so good. It's almost a tad bit sweeter than the scent of the Marc Jacobs bronzer. The Marc Jacobs, this smells like actual sun tanning lotion, and the Marc Jacobs smells like a beach, but they both have coconut undertone scents. Yeah, I think they look, I mean, I am using two different brushes, so just remember that, but I think that they look literally identical on the skin. I think that, you know, $11 at Kroger versus $49 at Sephora is an amazing deal. And if you guys have not seen Jeffree Star's review of it, you know, Tati Westbrook, this has been her favorites of the year for years now. A lot of people rave about this bronzer. So if you feel like you need a good matte bronzer that just you can depend on, that's inexpensive, I highly recommend this. All right, so next I'm gonna go in with blush. On my luxury side, I am gonna go in with the Tarteist Pro Glow and Blush Palette. I'm gonna go in with this. I think I might mix two shades here. I've got a peachy toned here in the center and a more kind of rosy berry toned here. I'm gonna mix them in order to come up with a dupe for the Milani Luminoso. By the way, this is a baked formula and these have a slight shimmer to them, so hopefully they will come out looking the same. I have not actually tested this out, but looking at them in the pan, they look extremely similar. So taking my Scott Barnes 6-4, I'm gonna dip back and forth from this pan to this pan, tap off excess, and go right on the apples. And that's pretty. I picked this as a dupe for several reasons. It is the only other shimmery, not shimmery, but kind of iridescent like blush that I had that looked the same as this, and honestly, this is my all-time favorite blush right now. It's got a beautiful, can you see that? Ooh. I kind of stopped using this palette, not because I don't like it, but because I have literally no space in my bathroom, and this sits at the bottom of a storage drawer that's a pain in the ass to get out every single time because other products sit on top of it. So I'm literally gonna have to pull that out and play with that more. Alright, so next I'm going to go in with the Milani Luminoso on my drugstore side with the JH04 blush brush. Wow. Yeah, I think this is a great dupe. I can't believe that I didn't notice that before. I'm discovering new things on camera as we speak. And I'm taking the Milani just over the bridge of my nose because it's summertime and it gives a very beautiful sun-kissed kind of look. Like you were just outside, got a dash sunburned. Can't go wrong with it. I forgot to take the luxury side down to the shoulders, so I'm just going to take the drugstore down both sides of the shoulders and a dash in the center. I'm going to say, like right now, so far I'm noticing parts that I like about both sides. I don't have a preference of just one side, if you understand what I mean. Like, I'm not somebody that only prefers luxury, or I'm not somebody that only prefers drugstore. I literally love different parts of each side. So this really is a learning experience for me also. Alright, so for highlighter, I'm going to go into, I'm going to do the Becca Champagne Pop on the luxury side with my JH09 highlighting brush. And this is a beautiful kind of peachy, pinky champagne color. It sounds just like what it looks like. Alright, we're just going to go right to the high points of the cheeks. Beautiful blinding highlight. We're also going to do this little trick. I watched Priscilla Ono do this to Nikki tutorials, and she literally, it was so beautiful. It was apparently a trick that Rihanna had done. You know how she's got her beautiful, I think it's called How Many Watts or How Many Carats. It's like that clear base glitter diamond bomb highlighter. So stunning on camera. I can't wait to purchase it and try it out. I'm going to do the left side of my Cupid's bow. And where else do I want to highlight? Slightly above the brow, but okay. Anyway, yeah, she's got a cheek hugging contour like brush, but then she came out with a smaller version that goes a little bit higher for the highlighter, and I watched Priscilla Ono use that brush and did that kind of, it's like a swoop, like you go down to the brow, up again, and down the cheekbone, and it was stunning. Alright, so on the drugstore side, I'm going to take the Wet n Wild Megaglo highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals. I think this is a pretty close dupe. The Champagne Pop is slightly more pink in color, but other than that, this is a beautiful highlighter. This is $4.99. And for this small travel size of the Becca, $22. The larger size is $38, but this tiny little thing is $22. So yeah, I'm going to go in to the Wet n Wild with the Morphe M310. You see how beautiful that is? Hang on. It will apply differently based on the brush that I have as well, so. Oh yeah. Right down the center of the nose. You know what, I have another highlighting brush that's similar to my Morphe JH. This is another Morphe brush, but in order to hit the other side of the Cupid's bow, oh yeah. Look at that glow. Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Can't go wrong with Wet n Wild highlighters. Yeah, that's me. I don't know if you guys have progressively started to notice me open up a little bit more with each video, but yeah. Alright guys, so first, what's driving me nuts is this foundation and powder on my lips, so I'm about to take a baby wipe I cannot stand crusty lips. Okay, next, first I want to spray my face. No, that's not true. I'm going to go in and do brows. So on the luxury side, of course, I'm going to use the Benefit Precisely My Brow in the shade 3.5. Beautiful pencil. I've just lately started to get into, I have lately started to get into the shape of the dupe side that I have. The only difference that makes these two not a dupe is the shade. The dupe that I purchased for the drugstore side is the Rimmel Brow This Way in the shade 001 Blonde. It was the only one they had. It was on clearance and it was like $2.50, but it very much reminds me of the Anastasia Brow Definer as well as the Benefit, what is that? The Cabral, or not Cabral, but the one that's shaped like a teardrop, just like the Anastasia Brow Definer. And I'm lately, since I've started using this a couple times, I'm loving that shape. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go in with this on the luxury side. I just find that that shape makes it a lot easier. But anyway, because this is blonde and this one is like a medium ash brown, they're not gonna look exactly the same. I'm not gonna go in too heavy on the brows either. I've been really liking more kind of feathery, natural-ish looking brows. But you'd be surprised at how well that blonde one actually looks on me. I'm literally dying to go out and get the new-ish Anastasia Dip Brow Gel. By the way, I really want to get it in like the taupe shade or something, because I just watched James Charles' new video yesterday, and he took the Anastasia Dip Brow Gel in the blonde shade because somebody, a makeup artist or somebody, had used it on him and like faded it into the front, and it looked like very ombre-ish and it looked really beautiful on him. So I'd really like to try it out. I'd like to think that I'm getting a little bit better at the brows, you guys. Brows are not an easy feat. I will admit it. They are not easy by any means. But practice makes perfect. Practice your ass off. Make mistakes. Ooh, that very quickly became a thick, not natural brow. So yeah. Oh, one thing I'd like to point out for my next step, I do not have a drugstore dupe for my brow gel, so I will be setting them both, or not setting them at all. I have to set them though, so I'm going to set them both, but honestly, you can't go wrong. Like, clear brow gel and all of that, that's something that, you know, that's not a necessary means of like, you don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on a clear brow gel, if you know what I mean. Alright, so luxury brow done. We're going to go in with that Rimmel Brow This Way Fill and Sculpt Eyebrow Definer in the shade Blonde. And like I said, it is shaped a lot like the Anastasia Brow Definer, and I'm kind of liking that. I wish that the spoolie was a little longer and a little more rounded at the tip. That's the only thing I don't like about it so far. So yeah, I'm going to have one blonde brow and one brown, but that's okay. We live and we learn. Oh yeah. Yeah, what I like about the blonde though is that I can be a little bit more like unaware of the mistakes that I'm making, and it won't look so harsh, if you know what I mean. Like that one, I was very careful about where I placed it, but this one I can literally like scrabble all over, and because it's a lot more of a softer color, it's not going to make me look like Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street. I try to avoid warm tone colors in my brows as well. I think a lot of people, unless you are a redhead or strawberry blonde or whatever, I think it would benefit a lot of people to avoid warmer tones in their brows just because it can look very artificial, very fake. One thing I'm noticing about this product is that it is a lot more waxy than my Benefit Precisely My Brow, which can be a little bit irritating because if you use the product with too much wax in it too often, it can clog the hair follicle or the pores where your brows grow and cause, you know, breakouts and cause the hair to not grow back properly. So just be aware of that. But other than that, for $2.50 it was on clearance, but I really do like the shape and the shade of this product. On camera it doesn't look necessarily as drastic of color change as it does in person, but I love this brow. This is an everyday brow for me, and this is my problem brow. This brow I struggle with on a daily. So because I don't have a brow gel for either side, or for drugstore and luxury, I'm going to just take my clear 24-hour brow setter from Benefit on both sides very fast. I just realized that we are already pretty far into the video, though I am on a new tablet, and I'm hoping that the software that I downloaded will allow me to actually edit and upload for you guys. Alright, so because we have our brows done, we already have our lids primed, what I'm going to do is move on into the lids and do our eyes. Now, I don't have a very crazy look planned. I have one actual drugstore product eyeshadow palette, which is the Lemonade Craze by Maybelline. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it down below. Anyway, it took me a couple palettes to grab to be able to mimic colors such as these. So what I'm going to do is first go in with the drugstore side, create my look, and then go in with the more luxury, higher end side and create the look or the dupe for that, if that makes sense. Usually we're trying to dupe luxury, but in this case, I'm trying to dupe the drugstore. Alright, so lids are primed. I'm going to go in with my JH32. I don't know, this lighting doesn't allow me to see the names because they're like silver and reflective. Anyway, the first shade I'm going to go in with is Sweet Tea, which is a kind of pinky undertoned, very neutral, kind of browny slate shade. I'm going to take that and go right into my crease. I love colors. I like pinky undertone colors on my skin tone. Since I've figured out exactly what my skin tone is, my undertone is, I've really started to love the look of pinks on me. It really makes my eyes pop. It looks great with my fair pinky undertoned skin. I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and do a cut crease. Or, yeah, a cut crease. I meant halo, but let's do a cut crease because I just realized I've only got one good concealer brush for that, and I don't want to have to go back in and clean it off to appropriately split up the luxury and drugstore concealers, if you know what I mean. I love the way that that color just looks on my skin tone. I don't know if the lighting will pick it up appropriately, but I really like that undertone. Just blend, blend, blend back and forth, circular motions, and as the product starts to leave the brush, you can move up further and further towards the brow, but not all the way. Allow a little bit of space for when we go in to highlight the brow bone. Okay, so next what I'm going to do, I think I'm just gonna take like a mix of the shade Ice Pop and Old Fashioned. That's like a raspberry and a brown to give it a slightly pink undertone. And we're really just gonna like first start packing it on the outer edge, and then we'll start to blend it inward. I'm going to go back with the previous brush that I used, the JH32, with whatever was left on the brush, and just blend, blend, blend. We don't want any harsh lines. This palette is slightly powdery, but the colors are beautiful, and I think that they blend very nicely. So it just depends on, you know, what it is that you're looking for out of your palette. With powdery eyeshadows, all you gotta really be careful with is, you know, fallout. But as long as you set, or if you leave some pressed powder and bake, then it shouldn't be an issue. But I really love the mix of those colors, by the way. It's just like a rich brownie raspberry. I think we're gonna end up doing a halo, because after that last video that I just did, it's my new favorite look on my eye shape. Pack, pack, pack on the inner and outer corner, and then back and forth. Just leave the center of the lid very open. I mean, you don't have to be very careful, just be aware of your placement. Try to avoid the center and concentrate the darkest part of the shade in the outer V and the inner. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Alright, so I think what I'm gonna do, yeah, we'll go ahead and do this halo. I'm gonna take my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. We're going to use this to cut the crease. Cut the crease. Cut the crease. Cut the crease. I'm going to go in with my Bare Escuentials, the Bare Minerals knockoff. I put a little bit of the Age Rewind on the back of my hand, and I'm going to take this and press it to the center of my lid. Before it has a chance to crease or transfer, I'm gonna go in. Oh yeah, I just remembered. I brought down, this is brand new, I've only swatched it but not used it. I'm gonna go ahead and set the concealer with this beautiful Super Shock ColourPop Super Shock shadow in the shade Lightning Bug. It's a beautiful bronzy, sparkly, glittery shade, and I'm going to take it on a JH41. You're going to go ahead and set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. The thing about these Super Shock shadows is they have a very unique kind of bouncy, creamy consistency. Kind of like the Super Shock highlighters and the Super Shock blushes. They're just extremely unique. You almost didn't even need to lay down the concealer in order to cut it. You can definitely go check out the formula over at Ulta, because that is where I purchased this shade, and that is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Alright, so I'm going to go back in with the JH33 that we did our outer V and inner corner framework with, and just blend. I think what I'm going to do is go back in to Ice Pop and Old Fashioned and really blend those edges so they look seamless. Oh my god, that's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my finger and go into Citrus, which is a very kind of orange pop-like shade, and just go right press it right into the center to really let it pop. Color pop. Bond. James Bond. Who am I today? Like, why am I all of a sudden a comedian? What time is it? It's been pouring rain like all day. Alright guys, so in order to speed this up, because I do have another client that I have to be at in 45 minutes, I'm going to take Ice Pop Old Fashioned on the lower lash line. So beautiful. And then we're going to highlight the brow bone with the shade Sunnies, which is just a matte kind of yellow, very, very fair yellow, pale yellow, if you will. And then we're going to highlight the inner corner with Main Squeeze, which is a yellow gold champagne color. And I'm going to take my Wet n Wild Cucumber Photo Focus to spritz that. Gorgeous, darling, gorgeous. Oh yeah. I even brought down lashes because I planned on doing the lashes that I did in my haul, but we don't have time for that. So I'm going to go in on the luxury side into the Loreal Los Angeles Nudie Patootie. I do not have clean brushes, you guys. I'm so sorry. So in order to match the shade Sweet Tea in the palette, I'm going to go in between the shades Streaking, which is a nude pink, and Reveal, which is a neutral khaki. When you decide that you want to do a halo eye, you want to make sure to distribute your transition shades evenly from outer to inner. That way, you know, there's not more concentration on only the outer V, if you know what I mean. Now, to match the Ice Pop and Old Fashioned shade that I went into, I think it's not going to be exact, you guys. Alright, it's not going to be exact, but I think what I'm going to do is take, yeah, I think I'm going to take, because this is what the two shades looked like when they were mixed together, is this very deep, rich brown in the Natasha and Denona Mini Nude Palette, and I'm going to take that on the JH33 and concentrate that. They look quite similar. Is slightly darker than the other two, but then again, Natasha Denona's shadows are extremely pigmented, but it is a little bit darker and a little bit less red. So what I'm gonna do is go into back to the Loreal Los Angeles palette and go into the shade Bare back here on camera. It doesn't look nearly as pink as it is in real life, but I'm just gonna lightly kind of top that shade from the Natasha Denona palette and go back and forth from the JH33 to the JH32. These eyes look extremely similar though, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so in order to cut the crease, cut that crease, I'm going to go into, well, first, I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape with the same Bare Escuentials brush. I have another Tarte Shape Tape that I think I need to dip into because that one's about gone. Anyway, I took that on the back of my hand. Sorry if I'm like speeding through this, you guys. I do have to leave soon. I'm going to cut that crease. Alright, that's literally like my new favorite thing to do recently is halo eyes. Alright, now I'm going to take the JH41 into this last beautiful coppery shade that very much resembles the Super Shock shadow that we just used. Oh, it's so pretty. It's almost like not as orangey as the other, but it's extremely close. Very close. Yeah, the color pop is just a dash more orangey brown, but they're very, very close. Alright, and then to kind of make it pop, we're going to go into the more champagne-y shade. I'm sorry, the three shades that I used in this, the first one was the shade Bronzage. The coppery shade I used was called Soil, and then now we're going to hit it with the shade Lumino. On just my middle finger, I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Make it pop, baby. Make that pop. Alright. Now, I am going to take just that same shade, I guess, that I did in the outer and inner, take that onto the lower lash line. Unbelievably similar to what we did over here. That's actually crazy. Oh yeah, that looks exactly the same. That's insane, you guys. Alright, so, I'm sorry. My nose is running. Alright, so in order to pop that brow bone, see, I don't have a yellowy matte shade. I'm just going to go in with the shade Stark from the Nudie Patootie palette. It's not a matte yellow, but I'm sorry guys, I'm panicking. And then for the gold, crap, for the gold, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back into that Tartest Pro Glow and Blush into this pure gold highlighting shade. I don't know why I start singing when I'm panicking, but that's exactly what just happened, so I'm sorry. Alright, I'm going to hit that with a little MAC Fix Plus. Get that in a corner, darling. I brought my Stila Magnificent Metals down here in case I wanted to use it, but I did not. What's crazy is that the drugstore side is looking more bright in that inner corner. Hang on. There we go. Spoke too soon. But I will bring you with me in my car when I'm on my way to get my client, just so that way you can see everything in different lighting. And okay, anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. We're gonna finish this up. What time is it? 8:25. All right, I've got to leave in 15 minutes. I think we're doing all right. Okay, so because, all right, I don't have a dupe or luxury dupe for the Ulta Beauty Cream eyeshadow and liner in the shade Naked Truth. This is just a nude stick liner, so I'm going to put this in both eyes. before I do mascara, I'm going to mist my face. I've got the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Cucumber Spray for the drugstore side. And I have MAC Fix Plus for the luxury side. Love that smell. Alright, that sucks we don't have time for lashes, you guys. This is such a beautiful eye look. But it's looking super different on both eyes. I just realized this is brighter. I'm just hitting my lips with some Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Kiss because, yeah. Alright, so back to the drugstore side. I just want to hit it with that champagne color to make it match the luxury side a little bit more. So I'm going back into Main Squeeze, which is that more pure gold. Initially I put citrus on top, but that's a little bit too orange to match the other side. So there we go. That's a lot more gold, so there we go. Just to get the edges to make sure that they're not too bold or too blunt of a stop in color, if you know what I mean. There we go. Alright, so we've done face, we've done eyes. Let's do mascara, but before we do, I'm going to curl. Alright, for the luxury side, I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I've talked about this in one of my last videos, that this and my current favorite mascara are absolute dupes, but the drugstore is a million times better, in my opinion. But who am I? This is extremely black, I'm not gonna lie. It's a beautiful black, but when you can literally pay less for twice the size of this itty bitty guy, you can get the full size for $10 as opposed to $12 for a half pint. I'm good, you know? This is not as good as I remember it being. Then again, this could be old. It's getting a little dried up. So let's not completely discount it yet, because in my last video I did say that this is, you know, it's done. But I had to use it in this dupe video. I don't know what I'm calling it yet, you guys. Alright. Luxury mascara on. Time for the drugstore. We're going in with the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise in the shade Blackest Black. This is my absolute, hands down favorite mascara right now, above my Roller Lash. I just can't believe that I just now, like, bought this and tried it out. Literally my all-time favorite mascara. Look at that. Look at that lift. Look at that lash. I'm an idiot, you guys. Don't mind me. Yeah, so far what I'm noticing close up, and I'll bring you in a different light, but on my drugstore side, my under eye is looking a lot more cakey and crunchy. But I like the eye on the drugstore side more. I'm going to explain my final thoughts here in just a minute. I need to stop while I'm doing this. Oh my gosh, that mascara is literally life. Alright, so for lips, I only have one lip liner total in my entire ridiculous makeup collection. How sad is that? I have dupes of everything but not a lip liner. That's insane. So I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Pillow Talk on all my lips, and then I will show you the dupe that I have. I better wipe off the... Okay. Ew, that was ugly. Corners of my mouth feel dry and tight. Beautiful color. Okay, so I think instead of doing... No, let's do it. Alright, so on the luxury side, of course, we're going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Kim KW. Beautiful pinky nude. And on the Drugstore side, we're going to go in with the Maybelline. The Maybelline Shine lipstick in the shade Baddest Beige 050, and this is not a matte formula. These are extremely similar. The only difference is that this is like one shade lighter. Or darker, I'm sorry, darker, not lighter. Other than that, they are literally identical. Alright, you guys. So I think that's it. Let me go ahead and put on my rings and my earrings, and I will tell you my final thoughts real quick before I go off and pick up my client. When I work late night shifts like this with a client, I usually pick this specific one up from his hospital job, and I'll take him home because he does not have a license. So anyway, what I first want to say is, as I'm looking in the mirror, both sides look absolutely stunning and very, very similar. The blush color looks exactly the same, but you know what's funny is that the Drugstore side faded much quicker. This is the luxury side with the Tarteist Pro, or what is it called? The Tarteist Pro Glow and Blush palette. It lasted longer. Highlighter, beautiful. I mean, Champagne Pop is a classic. It's beautiful. It's there. It is popping a little bit more. Yeah, okay, so eyebrows, obviously, you know, one's blonde and one is not. One's brown. But I will say that this pencil, the Rimmel Brow This Way Fill and Sculpt Eyebrow Definer, is a little waxy, so that's probably why it was on clearance. But other than that, I love the shape and I love the color, you guys, especially on me for a day-to-day, like night brow, day brow, night brow, day brow. No, that was backwards. Anyway, but like I said, the only negative so far that I am seeing is that my under eye on the Drugstore side is cakey. It's a little cakey, you guys. So let me see if I can get into a light for you. You see that? You see that cakiness? But it's not on this side. Those are pores, you know, the highlighter and the shimmery blush emphasize texture, but there is cakiness. And we do. It looks like I hit myself with the what's it called? Mascara. But anyway, this is a better light if you guys would like to see my look a little bit better. How do you guys think I did? Do you think I did all right? Do you think that I picked some pretty reasonable dupes? Sorry, I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm not even looking at you guys. I'm sorry. How do you think I did? You know, subscribe. Whoa, hang on a second, you guys. I just realized how great of a dupe these lipsticks were. Holy crap, they look, is it just me or do they look like it's the same lipstick? I mean, you watch me put it on, you know it's not. Anyway, yeah, so just let me know in the comments if you liked it, if you would like for me to do future videos like this. I really honestly had a lot of fun. Yeah, so yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this, you guys. So subscribe, thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of all my future crazy videos. Wow, I just got crazy. I get nervous when I'm like running late and have to go, so I start acting crazy. Anyway, I love you guys so, so much. I really hope you enjoyed and loved this video. Like I said, subscribe, thumbs up, hit that notification bell, punch it, slap it. Yeah, whatever you want. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.